Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby was not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
You're back.
And that guy over there is also Webby, it looks like.
Yeah, I didn't change, man. It's fun being Webby. I enjoy being Webby. It's a nice way to swiggity switch it up.
Nice. Yeah, and
do you know what that's from? Do you know what swiggity switch it up's from?
I've heard you say it before. I don't remember. I don't know exactly what you're quoting when you say it, though.
It's from 90210, David Silver, in his DJ, his rapper days, when he's like, I switch it up. I swiggity switch it up. If anybody out there knows, throw it in the comments below because it's good stuff. I don't know why I'm holding a pen, by the way. I'm going to stop that. That's stupid. I don't, what am I
But that would explain why I didn't know what you were doing because I actually, believe it or not, never watched 90210. Never.
How are you and I friends, man? Like, come on, that show.
I don't know.
You know what? Here's why. I grew up with an older sister, and they watched it all the time. And my older sister is about the same age as my wife. And while we were dating and being married, she's continued to watch it as like reruns. And so I think I just got hooked, man.
Okay. I do feel like that's accurate. I know other people that had sisters. They watched 90210 also. I watched Saved by the Bell religiously. That's about it. Yeah. I didn't watch any other girly teen shows growing up that I can think of.
Guess what my wife and I are dressing up for Halloween?
Zach and Kelly.
Yep, 100%.
Nice.
I have a wig.
The only reason I thought that is because we mentioned Saved by the Bell, and I felt like it was it's topical because there's a new Saved by the Bell show coming out soon.
Yep. I got a wig with its the big phone, the big brick phone, a jacket and a shirt. And then my wife has, she was either going to do Kelly as a cheerleader or as a waitress at the Max. And she went with waitress at the Max. So it's got like the, the shirt that hangs down over the shoulder and stuff. So it's pretty good. She's going to totally get the hair going. And I mean, it's kind of,
awesome.
she resembles, what's her name in real life? Kelly.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yeah. They have a similar kind of look to them. So.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I feel like your wife could definitely pull off that look very nicely. And I do have something to confess. My very first ever celebrity crush was on Kelly Kapowski,
dude,
aka Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
you were a boy in the 90s, of course.
Right?
Like it's either going to be her or Pam Anderson from Baywatch, or maybe Cindy Crawford. Nikki Taylor, there's maybe like a group of 10, pretty much if you were born in the early 80s that you're guaranteed that it's going to be on your list.
Right. Yeah, Tiffany Amber Thiessen was first, and then I got to admit Pamela Anderson probably was my second major crush growing up.
Definitely.
But I'm about to crack open a drink. Very interesting discussion, but I'm about to crack open a drink I'm very excited about, and this goes along with earlier, episode 76 of the podcast. I was dressed as Eddie for Halloween, and so to keep that theme going, I'm going to drink a hard seltzer tonight. I typically drink a nice, thick Crift beer. Crift beer.
It's Crift.
That shows that. There's proof how strong that first beer was that I drank, so it's good that I'm kind of lightening it up here with a hard seltzer.
I'm impressed, man. Usually when you go with the 11%ers in a show, by this time you're slurring, and you seem good. You seem like you're like perfectly buzzed. You're at that perfect level.
Yeah, well, so what I did right this time is like I drank one like smaller bottle, and I nursed it the entire episode. Usually if I drink these smaller bottles, I drink at least two, or I drink an entire bomber. So this time I was smart about it. Took my time, and it worked out nicely.
For the end of the year episode, are we going to try and get through another bottle of CBS again? What do you think?
Oh, man. I mean, I feel like it's been tradition up to this point. Why not stop? Or why stop now? But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't have any big bottles of CBS in my fridge, but I do have 2 bottles of No Rules from Perrin, and that messed me up more than the CBS did. I drank that during the episode with Andrea Coop.
I know I had to finish it for you.
Yeah, that was a first. Yeah, so that just shows like the No Rules is a little more dangerous than CBS, I think. So maybe I should find a bottle of CBS if we're going to go that route.
Well, they should have it available soon. I actually think I'm aging a bottle or two from last year too. So if I can't find one,
nice.
You should be able to find one. It's a little bit easier for you too because you're closer to Founders than I am. But usually the Lucky's Market by me has them, so I'm sure I can find it.
Yeah, CBS is usually pretty easy for me to find, so I should be able to get that. But yeah, this is really good. I'm not like a giant hard seltzer fan, but Founders, they've really done a good job. They have 3 different flavors that I know of. This one is the grapefruit. They also have a strawberry, and they also have a lime. And what it is, it's a very light version of their Mas Agave drink. The regular Mas Agave is an imperial goza style, which is also very, very delicious, but it's very, very strong too. So this is a light seltzer version, and I got to tell you, these are awesome. Very crushable, very tasty, very thirst quenching.
I love a good seltzer, man, especially the Fort Myers Brewing Company ones because it's 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 80 calories, like just good stuff, man. It's all natural ingredients. There's nothing funky in it, but I dig them, especially if you're gonna play pickleball, man. I do like to, have a beverage here and there on the pickleball courts or between matches. I think it's fun. It kind of loosens you up. Webby and I can tell you firsthand, we played much better after having one beer in the.
Yes.
Actually, wasn't that the second to last tournament we ever played together in? So, it can help for sure.
Yeah, we seriously, next time, we always talk about it. Next time we gotta drink at least one beer before the first match of the next tournament that we played together, because the last time that we did drink, it was after we had a few heartbreaking losses, and then after we drank, we were like,
I think we went
top, 15, best we've ever played together.
Like 15-5 that match, I think was.
Yeah,
that was crazy. That's craziness. I was gonna say something and then I totally spaced, so that's why I just awkwardly said craziness. To be honest with you.
Nice.
Yeah.
But man, I feel like both of us have a lot of great pickleball discussions that we could talk about. On my end, there's been 2 brand new pickleball facilities that opened up not too far from my house. Talk about it. Things are pretty good in Southeast Michigan. Things are awesome. Like, it's amazing the difference from last year at this point in time to now. How awesome Southeast Michigan pickleball scene is. Like, I used to be so jealous of Western Michigan, of the pickleball scene they had going on over there. But I'm no longer jealous. We have tons of great outdoor courses or courses. I always say courses because I think of disc golf courses. That was in my previous life, disc golf is what my obsession was. But there's tons of great outdoor courts near me. Never a shortage of those. And then this year, 2 brand new indoor places opened up that are absolutely awesome. The most recent video that I released, it was from the Wimbledon Pickleball Club's grand opening event that happened a couple weeks ago. And that so far, that is the best indoor place I have ever played. They have 8 dedicated pickleball courts, and then they have a few tennis courts that have permanent pickleball lines on them. So like whenever they have an event, what they do is they get portable pickleball nets and then set those up in the right spot for the lines that they have. And then for the event that I was at, on the other half of the facility, it's all tennis courts, but they taped off lines and had temporary courts. So they can do 24 courts at one time if they want. And
that's a lot, man.
That is a lot. So they could have some top-notch tournaments there. But it was such a great facility. I'm glad I was there for their grand opening event. And it's awesome. So now in Southeast Michigan, we have awesome year-round pickleball. The other place, which I'm actually going to be releasing a video for soon, was a place that was put together by our good friends Leslie and Christy from Wolverine Pickleball. They actually leased out a warehouse and they converted it into, they totally redid the whole flooring of this place. And they have 4 dedicated pickleball courts in there. And then they also have a half court. So you can do like dinking drilling and stuff like that. And it's awesome. It's a very cool facility. And another thing I really like about it is with COVID going on, I know some people are still kind of leery about playing indoors, but they have a bunch of giant like garage doors that open up. So they get like really, really good airflow and air circulation in there. So I feel like as far as like airflow and safety goes, like it's hard to beat what they've got going on. And it's a nice warehouse, like with super tall ceilings. It's a very cool place. Like it's awesome. So if I go 35 minutes in one direction, I can be at Wimbledon. If I go in 35 minutes the other direction, I can be at the Wolverine Pickleball Warehouse. So yeah, things are pretty awesome here in regards to pickleball in Southeast Michigan.
That's cool, man. I mean, obviously it's picking up. People are investing their money and their time into getting these courts out there, making sure that they're available to play year-round indoor courts. I mean, and obviously an actual tennis or pickleball surface is going to be better than taping off, gym courts. So,
oh, for sure. I feel like I'll never play on a gym court surface again now because I have these awesome options to go to now. I mean, I might, if I'm super desperate, I'll still play on gym court surface, but I mean, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't go to these other places instead now.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. That's really good. I'm glad that things are picking up in your area there. Cause I mean, you had to start creating a lot of your own opportunities a couple years ago, or even a year and a half ago to be able to get play in your area.
Yeah. Even one of our Eddie versus Webby matches was an indoor place that I helped get set up. And while it was cool to have pickleball there and stuff, and I'm really grateful for that facility for allowing us to do that, you can't compare gym court pickleball to tennis court pickleball when it comes to indoor facilities. Like, there's just no comparison. I can't imagine anybody preferring to play on a gym court surface to tennis court surface.
Yeah. That's cool. That's good, man. Yeah, I thought the video you did at Wimbledon was pretty good too, being able to get some of the people on there to talk about the facility and stuff. And, I guess that's throwing it out there to anybody in the world. If you guys have a new pickleball facility you want to get exposure to, let us know. I don't know about you, Webby, but I love going to these new places, learning about it.
Oh, yeah.
Getting video of it, talking about the people that created it. You even talk to the local pro at Wimbledon. Like, there's a lot of cool things that we can do to help kind of promote and bring exposure to your place.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the things that this channel is all about, is helping promote pickleball. Like, we want to promote the pro pickleball players. We want to promote pickleball in general. So yeah, stuff like that, those grand opening events, just special events in general. Like, we've been doing the Dink for Pink events that Andrea Coop and her group have been doing the last few years. Stuff like that we absolutely love. So yeah, let us know. And if we can make it work out, we will definitely gladly do a video showing off your facility.
For sure. Speaking of nice facilities, man, as you know, Webby, and most of you might know out there, I got a chance to go to my first PPA event this past weekend. And I got to tell you, man, I've been to quite a few different tournaments now, some very small, some very large, some huge, and none of them have compared to what I saw at the PPA Championship at Darling Tennis Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Nothing.
Nice. Yeah,
and
just based on spectating on the live streams and stuff, that looked super impressive. Like, based on what I saw, that rivaled Nationals. And to me, like, Nationals was like the biggest, grandest stage I've ever seen for pickleball tournaments. And from what I saw at the PPA event in Las Vegas, like that came very cllose to me.
Well, so I had never been to Nationals, so I'm speculating also off of what I've heard other people say. But the other people that have been to both events definitely felt like this venue was even better than Nationals.
Oh, nice.
And I just want to say, like, I'm not getting paid by the PPA for this video. I'm not doing this for any sort of endorsement of them. I'm just talking about my experience with that tournament.
Yeah.
And that when you walk into the Darling Tennis Center, you know that the PPA has established a vision for what they want to do with pickleball, and it's to make it as professional and legitimate as possible. And I'm not saying anything bad about any other tournaments I've gone to. It was just to a different level. All of the branding looked exactly the same. Their colors with the blue and the white were consistent throughout the event. They had thousands of dollars invested in banners throughout the venue, including one that I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but it was behind a section of courts behind like the Stadium Bowl area. and it had pictures of a lot of the top pros in the sport. And everywhere you went, it just felt like the attention to detail was incredible. And it showed. The whole feel of the place just felt like a very, very professional venue.
Nice. And I know you were there in person, and I do feel like things definitely look more impressive in person. But me being strictly a spectator for the live streams that were going on, I definitely got the feel that it was like a super, super top-notch professional event that was going on. It definitely felt very large, and it definitely felt like a very professional, high-class, high-quality event.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. So to kind of go back, one of the reasons that I was there is, as you guys may know, there's been a lot of negative comments and feedback, and rightly so, about the last couple of live streams for the PPA. It didn't match the caliber of the event. It didn't represent what the PPA is trying to do, and it didn't represent the quality of play from the players that were on the court. And so that led into a relationship that kind of started from that between Jigsaw Health and me. And if you guys don't know anything about Jigsaw Health, then you probably aren't watching pickleball, because they're the ones with all the awesome commercials. I kind of like to refer to them as the Bud Light of pickleball. They have some of the most incredible commercials out there that are engaging, they're catchy. And the CEO and his wife, Patrick and Ashley, they're both pickleball addicts themselves too. They kind of live and breathe pickleball. And they obviously have very high quality video and audio production capabilities within their company. And so this partnership for this particular event formed in just having some conversations where I focused on the actual live streaming production side of things, while they handled a lot of the pre-production artwork and graphics, as well as the audio and video part of the live stream as well. So they had audio engineer there, Ryan, who was incredible, man. He made me feel like our audio setup is so inadequate that it's like, I want to throw all this away and invest thousands of dollars to get a setup like his. Like, I don't know if you watched the live stream, like, what did you think of the audio of it?
Yeah, I watched a lot of it, and immediately I feel like that's what struck me immediately, is how good the audio was compared to previous live streams. Because I will admit, pretty much every PPA live stream before the Las Vegas one left me feeling disappointed. There was one where Jigsaw did the production crew. That one was pretty good, but they had some issues with it, like freezing and lagging. But every other live stream that PPA did, I was very disappointed in, unfortunately. So immediately, when I first tuned in, I heard Scott Golden's voice, and it was like crystal clear. There was not a ton of background noise like I usually hear. There was no hissing. It was just very, very crystal clear. So that's what got my attention right away, is just how much better the audio was. But then also the video, like the shot composition, when it switched from camera to camera, everything, by far the Las Vegas Championship that happened had the best live stream that anything that PPA has done before.
Yeah. I personally believe it's the best that's ever been done in pickleball, but I might be biased because I got to be part of the team that did it. But it was good. The court sounds, there were two mics on the court, and I think you could hear the feet moving. You could hear some of the comments that some of these players were making to themselves and kind of self-coaching after the fact. The commentators, they sounded clear as day. And you brought up the camera work. So we had 5 cameras. There was the baseline camera, which was kind of the go-to. There was the kitchen cam. And then we had 2 telephoto cameras being, manually operated the whole time, with telephoto lenses on them for what they call the attaboy shot. And that's after the point's over. It's zooming in. It's getting the reaction between them. It's getting the paddle tapping. It's kind of just that transition before the next point. And meanwhile, you had Corey with Jigsaw Health basically running that whole production. He had headsets on that were synced up to all of the other camera operators out there, all of the other people, and he was basically like directing it. And when I say directing it, I mean this guy was like laser focused for 6 hours at a time, saying, all right, 3, punch in on Simone. Okay, cut, going to 4, going to, like, the dude was impressive, man. I've never seen that level of professionalism when it comes to that sort of pickleball live streaming. And I think that his direction is what made that the video work, the camera selection and switching, as you know, I think that's what made it one of the best live streams ever.
Nice. But yeah, by far the best thing I've seen so far with a professional pickleball broadcast so far. Man, I gotta say, like, Jigsaw Health getting involved in pickleball is by far the best thing to happen to pickleball. I don't know what you think, but I mean, like, the sponsorships they've done, the top-notch commercials they've done. I mean, if it wasn't for Jigsaw, I mean, I feel like I definitely feel like Jigsaw has helped push pickleball in the right direction that it needs to go in to get exposure. What do you think?
I mean, and I want to start this by saying Jigsaw is not paying for us for us saying this at all. They're not a sponsor of this. They blew me away. And after the event, I actually wrote an email to all of the people at Jigsaw thanking them for such an amazing weekend. First of all, they brought me on it as part of their team, and we're basically like, we're gonna take care of you the whole weekend. And I thought that meant, okay, they're gonna you know, have a place for me to stay and make sure that some travel expenses get covered. No, they meant that they were literally going to take care of me for the entire weekend, as well as everybody in the crew. We were always fed. We were always hydrated. All of our needs were taken care of. The place that we stayed at as a group and as a crew was this awesome, huge house, you know, 10 minutes from the venue. All of our needs were taken care of. But more than that, they're a fun group, man. They're almost like a family, and you could tell immediately that they have this connection and this desire for pickleball, this passion for pickleball, and it shows. And I left there with a bunch of friends, and I got to tell you, man, I was impressed with Jigsaw before. I always say their commercials drew me in, their products kept me around, but their people are what have now made me a loyal fan of Jigsaw Health.
Nice. That's awesome. That's very cool to hear. Because, yeah, I've been a fan of theirs for a while, based on the commercials, based on their products. Because I mean, it's like pretty much from the beginning, I've always talked about, whenever we had guests on, I would say, what's your secret? Like, how do you stay hydrated and stuff like that? Like, before I even knew what Jigsaw Health was, that was a question I commonly asked everybody, because I had an issue where I got dehydrated during, I went out to this Peachtree Tennis Club. They have mixers and stuff, and I went out there and I played for like 4 hours straight, and I definitely didn't drink enough water. I didn't stay hydrated enough. And as I was heading home that day, I actually had to pull over on the side of the road because like I thought I was having a heart attack. Like something didn't feel right. I was having trouble breathing, and it just turned out I was like super dehydrated. So I pulled off, went to a gas station, went inside, got some Gatorade, and got hydrated, and finally started feeling better. So that's like what made me realize it was strictly dehydration. And I knew I didn't drink enough. Like I barely drank anything that whole 4 hours. And it just that experience taught me how important it is to stay hydrated. And I quickly learned like a lot of the things that I used beforehand to stay hydrated was like super packed full of sugar and stuff like that, like Gatorade itself, unless you get like the zero sugar kind and stuff. Like so much of the stuff that was already out there has tons of sugar and really isn't that good for you. And the fact that the Jigsaw stuff has zero sugar, and then it's like the sweeteners they use are like it's like the good stuff. What is it, like this? Right. Was it the stevia root or something, or something like that? I don't know. But whatever it is they use, it's good stuff. And I do want to say again, Jigsaw is not sponsoring this. They're not paying for any of this. We're just genuine fans. And it's awesome to hear that your experience with them was so good and that you have a better relationship with them. So that is very cool to hear.
Yeah, they really are awesome. And all of them take the products themselves too. It's waking up in the morning, having their pickleball cocktail. It's in the afternoon, having that electrolyte supreme. It's at night, if, somebody needs a good night's sleep or wants to feel better, doesn't want to cramp, maybe they're playing in the morning. It's taking the Meg Soothe, and they're an amazing company. If you guys haven't tried any of their stuff, if you know what, forget about their products. Just go check out their commercials, and you'll immediately get a feel for what they're all about. And I got to see some of the latest commercials this past weekend that as I was setting up the Livestream software, I was going through the commercials and I was watching them for the first time, and they're hilarious, man. One of my favorites is the William Tell one. Did you see that one?
Oh man, which one is that? I can't remember.
So you had Patrick, the CEO, standing there with a box of, I think it was pickleball cocktail on his head, and you had Irina, who was basically had her paddle and knocked it off his head, and then jokingly collected money from the other guys that were standing there, pretending it was a bet. And then Ben Johns walks in. Yeah. He walks in.
Ben Johns walks up with like a tank top on. And he's like,
it was a, by the way, I found out it was a woman's tank top, walks over and is like, my turn. And just, it was hilarious, man. Like, their commercials are great. And my favorite thing is when they have Ben Johns on a lot of the commercials, you and I both know, and a lot of people that know him know that Ben Johns is very well educated. He's incredibly smart, almost borderline genius in some ways. He's studying materials engineering at school. He's a very intelligent guy. Yeah. Some of the commercials they do with him, they intentionally kind of make him look like an airhead or look like he's not, like he's out of it. I love that Ben is he's such a confident person in himself that he's willing to play that role, but he's not like that at all in real life.
Yeah, there's two commercials that come to mind that crack me up every time I see them that involve Ben. There's the one where he says, "Get your fun to feel good. Come get your fun to feel good here, folks." And then they're like, "Ben, it's not called fun to feel good."
Yep.
And then he chucks the whole bag at Randy Coleman and knocks him down.
Yep. That guy looks like a cramper.
Right?
Yep.
And then the other one that cracks me up is every time he goes, I got it. And he interferes with what people are doing to make fun of the fact that he poaches like hell during matches.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then I think at the end of that commercial, Ashley from Jigsaw Health spills her drink, and then he's like, "Yours."
Yep. Yeah, it's so funny, man.
It's so good.
I love the fact that it's all people that work for Jigsaw that are in the commercials, and it's all people that work for Jigsaw that produce all of the videos as well. So, as I'm meeting some of the people from the crew, I'm like, wait, you're in that commercial. Or like Ryan, the audio guy, the audio engineer, he's in it's Pickleball Cocktail, the ripoff of what's that song? You know what I'm talking about?
I'll work out.
Yeah, ripoff's not the right term. The spoof of it. He was in that.
You're looking at that body.
Yeah,
you're looking at that body.
Yep, a workout. So he was in it, and then the scene where Lucy is doing her backhands, the wicked backhand commercial. He was in that along with Corey, the guy that was doing all the he was basically the director of the entire live stream. He was in there. He was the one in the kitchen when she whacked the bagel off the table. And so I don't know. It was cool to see like what that company is all about and what their culture is. And they're the real deal, man. It's no joke. You know who they are, and they're an amazing company.
Yeah, like every time I see their commercials, I feel like, man, that's like if we like were super professional, I feel like this is the kind of thing we would do. This is the kind of stuff we would do.
Oh, I know. And that's the thing too, is like one of the things I wanted to walk away from this weekend, and I didn't want to come on too strong, but I wanted to walk away learning some of the knowledge from them. Ryan, the audio guy, I brought him up a couple times. Like what he can, the whole audio approach that he has to things and his knowledge, you can tell that this guy, like, he's got it, man. He understands it. Corey, who was directing the whole thing, and his understanding of videography. I mean, the guy went to film school. He's the one that does all the video work for the commercials. I was trying to soak up as much knowledge as possible because they're incredible. It's an incredible in-house production team. And to think of a company that small to have their own in-house production, what else can you think? I mean, I can't think of anyone else that does something like that.
Oh yeah, most companies have to hire a production company to do the commercials, and they probably cost like tens of thousands of dollars to do the quality of commercials that they're doing. So it's very, very impressive. And I actually want to bring up a comment that somebody asked about your experience, and they said comes from Devon Erho on YouTube. He said, "Did you play at the tournaments or just watch?"
I just watched and produced the live stream. That was kind of my role. But
yeah,
I actually got.
I would definitely say you didn't. I would definitely say you didn't just watch, because you probably worked your ass off along with the production crew. Because I know how it goes. Like it's to be part of the live stream, to do any part of a live stream is a lot of work.
Yeah, it's long days. Honestly, the only time I even touched a paddle was when me and Jasser's the guy who does all of the video work for the PPA. And if you guys haven't gone on to the PPA's website and seen some of the insanely cinematic and dramatic footage that they put out of highlights of these tournaments or highlighting the pros, go check it out now. The mastermind behind that is this guy named Jasser. Super cool guy, incredibly creative. Obviously, the dude's ability to tell a story with video is it's incredible. But anyway, long story short, him and I dinked for like 10 minutes during the event, like before the live stream, to kind of, just work out the nerves a little bit. That was it. That was the only time I got to actually hit a ball the entire weekend. But
nice.
It was fun though.
But that's cool. Yeah, it looked like an awesome experience. But yeah, the videos you're talking about, those like the recaps that they've put together, like when I watch those, I'm like, man, I would just want to delete our YouTube channel, because like
I know
the highlight videos I've done like don't even hold a candle to the quality of the stuff that they're putting out.
Yeah, it's insane, man. Like it, and I think I've talked a lot about it. There's a couple more things that I really want to be able to highlight on. I got a chance also to be able to hang out with Hannah Johns. As you know, I don't know what her role is with the PPA, but she does the post-game interviews and does a really great job about it, interviewing the winners of each of the matches. But I didn't realize that like Hannah does so much more than that. She actually ran the scoreboard in the production booth while she was studying the match and taking notes about it and thinking of the questions she wanted to be able to come up with.
Oh, wow.
And then like running down, getting ready, rallying up the players over to the sideline in front of the commentary cam or the interview camera, having an interview with them, which I mean, you and I both know is insanely stressful and really hard to be able to do. It's like coming up with new, fresh questions every time. And she did that, and it's like, man, just I was incredibly impressed with everything that Hannah was doing, and she was a lot of fun to work with, and a great presence in the production booth as well.
And that had to be huge, having somebody like mainly focusing on the scoreboard, because I know when we did the Beer City Open and the Florida Grand Slam, like I know how tough a job just that alone is, because you got to be able to hear the ref say the score, or at least be keeping track of the game completely. So yeah, that's awesome. The fact that she was able to do that and come up with the questions for her interviews, that's very, very impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Did you happen to see the video of Rob Cassidy pretending to be Jeff Warnick?
Yes. Oh my God. That was probably one of the most amazing things I've ever seen during a pickleball live stream. If you guys haven't seen it, you've got to look that up. Do you remember at what point in time that happened? Because this would
have been after the bronze medal match for mixed doubles day. So if you're watching because I don't think the individual matches have been released yet, but I would assume it would probably be about 6 hours into the live stream from Sunday, the mixed doubles day.
But yeah, that was seriously one of the funniest, most epic things I have ever seen during a pickleball live stream. It's Rob Cassidy playing the part of Warnick. It was so good.
So here's the thing is that when we're in the production booth, right, we're like, I'm not kidding you, for hours on end, guys, we are like this, laser focused, focusing on what's going on, all communicating with each other, communicating with the commentators, doing countdowns, transitioning, all of this stuff, right? And it's good to be able to kind of throw humor in there and make the crew laugh every once in a while. And one thing that I want to say, when Johnny Pickleball was doing commentary, he was cracking us up with a lot of his jokes, and that was really awesome. That kind of lightened the mood a lot. And then when Rob Cassidy did that, acting as Warnick, we were all dying laughing up there. And I'm glad that we had the commentary mics off at that point, because I bet you we were laughing to the point to where they would have picked it up. It was...
Oh, I bet.
It was and here's the other thing too, a little insight. So we would always have somebody man that camera and like frame up the shot properly whenever Hannah would bring the guests over to interview. And when Rob Cassidy stood on the chair, obviously you could see the chair there, but then his head was cut off at the top. And we intentionally left the framing where his head was cut off just to emphasize like how ridiculous that it was, the height difference that Rob Cassidy was trying to show by acting as Jeff Warnick.
Nice. Well, you want to know the funny thing? Like, I was watching that live, and like it took a little while for me to realize that was Rob Cassidy. Like, I thought that was actually Jeff at first. And like, even when I could see his face, even when I saw his face, I was like, why is Jeff standing on that chair? And then I was like, holy shit, that's Rob Cassidy. Yeah. This is amazing.
Oh, it's so funny too. And, and you could tell Warnick, I mean, throughout the entire weekend, his back was hurting him quite a bit. And my favorite thing was, and I don't know the exact words, but basically Hannah Johns asked Rob Cassidy playing Jeff Warnick about his back, which she would have asked him as a legitimate question, because it obviously was affecting his play. And he responded with something like, well, I got to carry Jesse all these times or whatnot. And Jesse, without even hesitating, just started busting out laughing. And so I know one of the things that obviously Webby and I are trying to do with this channel is to not only highlight the on-court play from a lot of these pros, but more focus on them as humans, as individuals, as as characters. I mean, because ultimately they're just, so many of the pickleball pros are funny people. And and Warnick himself is a character, and Rob Cassidy just nailed it. I thought that was one of the best interviews I had ever seen in pickleball.
Yeah, it was so good. So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Like, so many people in the pickleball world, like so like these top pros, they are such good, interesting, funny people. And like, I feel super blessed to consider a lot of them like actual good friends of ours. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I was very jealous of your the fact that you were there in person for that event. Hopefully everything works out for me to be there next year. It just seemed like such a top-notch, awesome event.
Yeah, it was great. I got to tell you though, the last day. So most of the, it's Las Vegas is a little bit more of a desert climate, right? So it would get pretty warm during the day into the high 80s, low 90s maybe. But then as soon as the sun would start to set, it would get cool pretty quick down into the 60s. Well, the last day, and anybody watching the live stream, anytime from about hour 5 on, we had a crazy storm come through. And it was like almost like a Dust Bowl scene out of, the old Western movies where wind was whipping around and it was blowing stuff around. It blew over a couple tents. It was, I mean, my equipment was covered in dust when we brought it out of there. And to the point to where the senior pro gold medal match, the conditions were so bad, they decided to just be co-winners together. They didn't even want to play. It got nasty. It got really nasty out there. And unfortunately, that's what we had to actually pack up all of our gear in those conditions. It was crazy.
Oh, man. Wow, yeah, that is crazy. Can't even imagine what that would be like. Oh, man.
Did you see a comment here? We got one from Hannah Johns responding to Irina Tereschenko, saying, Irina Tereschenko, no, Russians greater than Americans. You are my hero. And that was obviously in response to Irina saying, Hannah Johns is my hero. So glad you guys are both tuning in right now. Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, if all the Russian people are anything like Irina, that's probably an accurate statement that Hannah gave. Because man, Irina is definitely one of my favorite people in the world of pickleball. She's so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun, down to earth, easy to talk to, and I think I've brought it up before, and I don't even know if Irina knows this, but she said something when she was commentating with us during the World Pickleball Championship. Do you know what I'm talking about, Webby?
You'll have to refresh my memory.
So she said something that will always resonate with me for the rest of my life. And anytime I'm meeting new people, I'm always going to think of this. But it was 2019 World Pickleball Championship. We were live streaming it. Scott Golden was doing main commentary. We had Irina in the booth doing co-commentary with us. And if you guys have ever heard Irina's commentary, it's great. And she has a lot of fun facts about a lot of the players out there. And you can tell she has a really good relationship with them. Well, Irina was spouting off a bunch of facts about whoever was playing on the court. And the funny thing is, I don't even remember who was on the court. But I remember this. And that was, I can't remember if it was me or Scott. We asked Irina, how do you know all of this about the people out there? And she said, I ask questions. Just like that. Plain as day. And for the rest of my life, I will never forget that because it's such a simple thing. When you're with people, just ask them questions. You're going to learn so much about them if you just ask questions. So Irina, if you're still tuning in, thank you. That comment literally has changed my life forever. And I am always going to make that a part of my thought process when I'm meeting new people. Just ask questions.
Yeah, I do remember you talking about that before, and that's so good, such good information. Like it's so true too. Like that's awesome. And like the first time I ever met Irina was at the Beer City Open last year, and when she was with us, like she was only with us for a short period of time on the podcast when we were live at Perrin Brewing Company for the pre-party. But just in that short amount of time, like the questions that she asked us, like they were very like deep and meaningful questions. Like they might seem like simple questions to other people, but like it just seemed like she genuinely wanted to learn more about us, and it was awesome. And I love, like, every time that she sends us a question for the Pros Asking Pros Questions segment, I know I can count on like a very, very good thought-provoking question, and she never disappoints in that category.
100%. She also gets a kick out of the fact that what YouTube channel is that you subscribe to?
What's that? You know? Say that again.
Isn't there a YouTube channel that you subscribe to from that she gets a kick out of?
I don't think it's a YouTube channel, but but I do. It's a service. It's a monthly service that I subscribe to.
That's what it is. Yeah. What is that?
My family and I subscribe to the Snack Crate of the Month Club. Basically it's like snacks from around the world. And so like one month we might get a bunch of like candy and chips and snacks from Russia. The next month we might get some from Canada. And then actually the most recent one was from the US. So it was like there was Better Made chips, which are made in Detroit, Michigan. And then other things that like are famous throughout different states in the United States. But it's super fun. Like it's very cool. And but yeah, she got a big kick out of it. And a fun fact about that, like I told her that I do that kind of thing, and she actually sent me a package with Russian snacks. Because it was funny because I sent her one of the months was Russia from this Snack Crate thing that we get. Mm-hmm. So I sent her a picture. I was like, "Hey, do any of these look familiar? Like, are these things that you frequently dine on there in Russia?" And then she said like some of them were like kind of generic and not really like super well known, but like some of them were very similar. And she was like, "What's your address? I'll send you some stuff that we really eat in Russia." And lo and behold, a few weeks later, here I get a package unexpectedly. And it's from Irina, and it's a bunch of things that they like in Russia, and
like legitimate snacks that they
legitimate snacks. Yeah. And it was awesome. I'm telling you, it meant so much to me. The fact that she cared so much to do something like that, because I was not expecting that. And it's just, I couldn't even believe it. When I got that, you have no idea how excited and happy I was.
That's cool, man. Yeah. She's amazing. I don't even know what else to say. Just a super cool person and unbelievable on the court too.
Yeah, for sure. She's very, very fun to watch play. She's very intense. There was a moment during the PPA. It was before the big the major produced stream that you guys did was beforehand. They would have some of the matches live streamed, but just on a one camera coverage, no scoreboard, stuff like that, which I appreciate. I love the fact that they did that. I could hear her she got pretty frustrated with herself. I can't remember exactly what she said, but it made me laugh. The camera picked up some very entertaining things that she said when she was frustrated with herself.
That's great. So good. What an experience though, man. I mean, to be part of that PPA event, I can tell that they're trying to be the future of pickleball, and they're trying to make it the most professional type of event that there is, and it's evident in everything that they're trying to do, man.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
And the kind of it makes me want to bring up a topic. It's been pretty controversial here. People are drawing lines in the sand. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about it, but I think now is a good time to bring it up. But are you team PS5 or team Xbox Series X? Because a lot of people are very divided, and some people are only going to stick with one in 2021. So have you made a decision on which one you're going to go with?
I mean, it's such a tough one, and I agree with you that it's so divisive in this country right now, and it's are you team Sony? Are you team Microsoft? Are you a PlayStation guy or an Xbox guy? And you got to pick one, and which one are you?
Yep.
And it's a very complicated sort of formula that you have to put into there. Is it good for the video game industry? Is it bad for the video game industry? I don't know. All I will say is that I do believe that nobody's being forced to buy a video game console, and what everyone wants to buy, I think, is what they should do if it's right for them and their family.
Yeah.
And personally, for me, I don't know if I'm going to get either, to be honest with you. But what about you?
The way I'm coming at it from, why not both? Why can't you support both? There's nobody saying that you can't have a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. I don't see why you can't do both. You could even have both going at the same time and enjoy them.
I agree.
I could be playing on the PS5. My daughter could be playing on the Xbox, and we're both having a great time. We're both having an awesome experience at the exact same time.
I agree with you. Yeah. That was good.
But yeah, that's just one of the many things that the world is facing right now. The console wars.
I love it. Webby, there's something we didn't do earlier that we said we were going to do, and we totally lied to our entire audience.
Yeah, I thought about that. We were talking about the Jigsaw commercials, and then the word commercial got into my head, and I realized I totally promoted that we were going to play our Eddie and Webby commercial that happened during the PPA event. We were going to play it at the end of episode 76, and we failed to do that. So sorry to anybody that tuned into episode 76 and that didn't happen, but nothing's stopping us from doing it right now. So why don't we play it right now?
Let's do it.
Does life sometimes cause you extreme heartache or stress? Do you suffer from seasonal allergies or the common cold? Then maybe you should consider Eddie and Webby. Eddie and Webby most likely won't be able to help with any of these symptoms, but Eddie and Webby do provide high-quality pickleball content on YouTube. Rare yet sometimes frequent side effects of tuning into Eddie and Webby may include uncontrollable laughter, severe entertainment, loss of appetite, or a total waste of time. Eddie and Webby may not be right for everybody, but if you like pickleball, Eddie and Webby might be exactly what you're looking for.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
how great is it that we created that commercial with like 4 days notice and basically just found a bunch of clips and added a few new ones to be able to put that together?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of impressed with ourselves because we had so little time to prepare for this. Like, not only we had 4 days to come up with the idea, shoot the footage, edit the footage, and cut it down to 30 seconds, which, by the way, is extremely difficult. Anybody that has never had to deal with making a commercial, like when you have a set time frame, like, okay, we're gonna give you this time block, but it can be no more than, like, it's got to be exactly 30 seconds. And like the fact that it's got to be exactly 30 seconds, like it can't be any less, it can't be any more. It's got to be exactly 30 seconds. That's not easy to do. So in 4 days, we came up with concept, recorded footage, edited it, and got it ready. And I'm proud of ourselves for that.
I think it was good, man, especially because I was feeling the pressure of getting everything together for the live stream. So another thing I didn't bring up earlier is basically this was like a last minute thing, and we had to throw this together in just a couple weeks. Meanwhile, in there, my wife had a 4-day little vacation that we were taking as well in that time frame. And so we were kind of scrambling last minute for everything. In addition, we threw that together, but I liked it. And I hope people got the joke. There were a couple of people that didn't understand what we were going for there, and they were like, "What was that?" I mean, I felt like it was obvious, but maybe some people didn't.
Yeah, well, I know I got numerous messages from people that said they saw it and they absolutely loved it. So I know there are people out there that got it and they appreciated it and they thought it was hilarious. And the funny thing is, like, there was a recent prescription drug commercial that came out that, like, we kind of used like as the inspiration for the layout of that commercial. And like, I think it was the day or maybe 2 days after the first day of live streaming for the PPA where that commercial aired, it came on TV. My wife was at home and she like pulled out her phone and recorded it and sent me a Snapchat. She was like, "Look what just came on TV," and it was like the original commercial that we kind of spoofed for this idea. It was pretty funny.
That's funny, man. What's crazy is that last scene where I have my arm around my dog at the beach. That was literally 3 days before I flew to Vegas for the tournament, and it was like just a last minute thing. We were on a little RV trip out on the other side of the state, and I'm like, we got to get something to close this commercial with, and so we shot that. And yeah, I still can't get over, like, we just threw that together. Here's the funny part too, is that a lot of the Jigsaw crew, they were like, "Oh, that was nice," or whatever. Meanwhile, they're probably like, "Oh my God, what are they doing? What is that commercial that they produced there, given how awesome theirs are?" But yeah, it was.
Yeah, I feel like every single shot that we recorded, they probably were ripping apart in their heads, like, "Oh my God, this shot wasn't composed properly. The focus was off. There was missing frames, stuff like that."
Right.
But
and then there's the awkward scene of me in a restaurant, like, that totally threw the flow off. That it was it was pretty funny.
No, but I loved it though. Like, the final scene that you did, like, that makes the whole commercial to me. Like, that, I love that scene. Like, it was so good. Like, with you and your dog, with the water and the beach. Like, I thought that was a perfect way to end that thing. One thing I like that kind of worked out, like, it wasn't the best quality, but like 2 of the shots are things that my wife recorded of me when I was in Traverse City last year for a tournament. We had a great time there. We were at the Sleeping Bear Dunes. And I had a whole bunch of footage that we recorded that I never used for a video that I released last year. And like, when we came up with the idea to do that, I was like, "Oh man, like, I should try to find that original raw footage and use some stuff from there." And it wasn't perfect, but I thought it fit in pretty decent.
Yep, I agree.
And it was just shot with a phone. Like, it wasn't even a good camera. Like, the first couple shots I shot with my, like, really good Sony camera.
Yeah, man. What lens was that?
It was the oh man, I can't remember the dimensions, but it's the good one that I got, the one where, like, it kind of, like, it zooms in quite a bit. It's the one that I can't use for the live stream because the space I have to work with in my basement isn't far away enough. Otherwise, it would just be, like, zoomed in on my nose and mouth.
That's funny. Yeah, that was good, man. That was a good commercial. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We definitely want to do more of those. As you know, we like to be creative, and I thought that was fun. glad we did it.
Yeah, I love doing stuff like that. That was a great opportunity. I'm glad that we were able to jump on it and make it happen. Stuff like that, stuff like our bad dink reading videos, the song parodies, and our slick tricks videos, stuff like that is my absolute favorite thing to do. The stuff that where you and I are together, working together, is always my favorite video projects. Unfortunately, we don't get to do that super frequently throughout the year, but hopefully that'll increase as time goes on.
I agree. Well, anyway, I'm glad I got a chance to talk about it. That's really all that's been going on with me, and I want to present two options to you right now. You ready?
All right. What do we got?
You either need to run the show for like a minute and a half by yourself, or we can close it out. Which one?
I think we can close it out because really all I wanted to talk about was the new indoor pickleball facilities in the Southeast Michigan area. I talked about that already, so I'm good. I loved hearing your experience at the Las Vegas PPA event. That was super interesting stuff. I think people are going to get a kick out of hearing the behind the scenes stuff that you experienced. So yeah, I think now is a great time to close the show.
Well, that's good. And this has been Dinking Around number 20-something. I don't know, because we only keep track of the podcast numbers before we start the show, apparently, and we don't keep track of the Dinking Around ones. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to check out the podcast with Steve Deacon, you can either rewind or check that out. That was episode number 76. It's a great show, a lot of fun. And on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.